Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. And I'm glad you're taking a few minutes to listen to me today. I hope it'll be worthwhile. I hope you're having a really good day and I hope you're going to have a really good week. Because here we are, the 1st of May, another month. And according to the various folk sayings, May is when the flowers begin to emerge. Well, actually, in many places, they already started. But May is the month when they come out in their fullness. And it's so wonderful to move from the dark and dreary winter to the vibrance of color and newness of life that comes in spring. Now, I know there are parts in the world where spring has already come, and there are parts on the southern end of this planet where they're getting ready to have their winter. But at least for here, this is the time when the world seems to come alive with new and precious things. And so I want to take probably a couple of weeks, maybe a little more, to talk about Proverbs. Proverbs is an interesting little book, and I want to share today from the beginning, chapter 1 and verse 1. And here's what it says. These are the Proverbs of Solomon and David's son, king of Israel. Their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline, to help them understand the insights of the wise. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. These proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young. Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance by exploring the meaning in these proverbs and parables, the words of the wise and their riddles. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Well, here in the beginning, we hear what Proverbs is all about. It was written by two really wise guys, certainly under the inspiration of the Lord. And it says that the purpose, it's always good to know why something is there. The purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline. Now, those are two factors that are often missing in people's lives. A lot of people aren't very wise. They know a bunch of stuff, but they're just not very wise. Now, that doesn't mean they're not smart. There's a difference between having mental capacities for intellectual understanding and being wise about it. For example, I can know all the answers to all the questions, but it's only wisdom that's going to tell me when I should open my mouth and when I should keep it closed. So it says that purpose is to teach wisdom and discipline. Discipline seems to be something that's a missing commodity for a lot of people today, probably for a lot of people of all time. It takes discipline, and not discipline applied from the outside, like going to school and your teacher says, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and you do it. No, this is discipline that comes from the inside, that enables you to stick to the task that you need to do. It also says that the purpose is to teach people how to live. The Bible is a very practical book. It is, as someone once called it, the manufacturer's handbook of how this creation, you and me, are supposed to operate. Proverbs want to teach us discipline so we can live successful lives, not just lives that barely make it. You know people whose lives are full of excitement and goodness and joy. And you probably know some whose lives are not that at all. Well, Proverbs' purpose is to help you navigate between those two. It says it to help them do what is right, just, and fair. Now, notice in these three words, there's not a selfish aspect anywhere. It's not how to do what I want. It's not how to do what I think ought to be done. It's not to do what's going to give me an edge. It's to do what's right, what's justice, and what's fair. And you know, living a life with those three characteristics is a pretty fulfilling effort. Now, you may or may not, quote, get ahead really big. You might. A lot of people make a lot of money who are fair and just and do what's right. But that's not the point. The point is to live a life that reflects God. And it goes on to say, it's going to explore the meaning of these things. It's going to listen to these words. And then it finishes up with this incredible statement. The fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge. Now, when it says fear, the word doesn't mean to be afraid, to shake, and to cower in the midst. No, that word fear means to be in awe of, in great respect of, in accepting the legitimacy of the kingship of the Lord. You see, when we are committed to doing what God wants, that, it says here, is the foundation of true knowledge. Now, I grant you, there are a lot of factors around and a lot of influences that will keep you from being in that spot. But if you want to live a life that's rich and full, this is how you do it. So I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know how you're living it. You do. And so I invite you to look at your own life. Is it one lived with great respect and awe about the goodness of God? And if it's not, well, I invite you to change. Well, we're going to spend the next week or so looking at some of these specific proverbs. So I hope you'll come along. I hope you learn something. And I certainly thank you for listening. If you have a need or prayer concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Thanks so much for listening. God bless you. I'll be back tomorrow.